The Weald (YLD) is an area in southeast England, situated between the parallel chalk escarpments of the North and the South Downs. It crosses the counties of Sussex, Hampshire, Kent and Surrey. It has three separate parts: the sandstone, High Weald, in the centre, the clay, Low Weald periphery, and the green sand ridge, which stretches around the north and west of the Weald and includes its highest points. The Weald once was covered with a vast forest, and its name, Old English in origin, signifies woodland. The term is still used today, as scattered farms and villages sometimes refer to the Weald in their names. Etymology: the name Weald is derived from the Old English weald, meaning forest. This comes from a Germanic root of the same meaning, and ultimately from Indo-European. Weald is specifically a West Saxon form. Wold is the Anglian form of the word. The Middle English form of the word is weld, and the modern spelling is the reintroduction of the Anglo-Saxon form attributed to its use by William Lambarde in his A Perambulation of Kent of 1576. In the Anglo-Saxon period, the area had the name Andredus Weald, meaning the forest of Andred, the latter derived from Andrida, the Roman name of present-day Pevensey. The area is also referred to in Anglo-Saxon texts as Andredeslige, where the second element, liga, is another Old English word for woodland, represented by the modern lee. The adjective for weald is wealden. Geology. See also, Geology of East Sussex, Weald Basin and Weald Artois Anticline. The weald is the eroded remains of a geological structure, an anticline, a dome of layered lower Cretaceous rocks cut through by weathering to expose the layers as sandstone ridges and clay valleys. The oldest rocks exposed at the center of the anticline are correlated with the Purbeck beds of the Upper Jurassic. Above these, the Cretaceous rocks include the Wealden group of alternating sands and clays, the Ashdown Sand Formation, Wadhurst Clay Formation, Tunbridge Wells Sand Formation and the Weald Clay. The Wealden group is overlain by the Lower Greensand and the Gault Formation, consisting of the Gault and the Upper Greensand. The rocks of the central part of the anticline include hard sandstones, and these form hills now called the High Weald. The peripheral areas are mostly of softer sandstones and clays and form a gentler rolling landscape, the Low Weald. The Weald Artois anticline continues some 65 kilometers further southeastwards under the Straits of Dover, and includes the Boulonnais of France. Many important fossils have been found in the sandstones and clays of the Weald, including, for example, Baryonyx. The famous scientific hoax of Piltdown Man was claimed to have come from a gravel pit at Piltdown near Uckfield. The first iguanodon was identified after a Mary Mantle unearthed some fossilized teeth by a road in Sussex in 1822. Her husband Gideon Mantle noticed they were similar to modern iguana teeth, but many times larger. This important find led to the discovery of dinosaurs. History. Some of the following notes in the early part of this section are taken from the High Weald website. Prehistoric evidence suggests that, following after the Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, the Neolithic inhabitants had turned to farming, with the resultant clearance of the forest. With the Iron Age came the first use of the Weald as an industrial area. Wealden sandstones contain ironstone, and with the additional presence of large amounts of timber for making charcoal for fuel, the area was the center of the Wealden iron industry from then, through the Roman times, until the last forge was closed in 1813. The index to the Ordnance Survey map of Roman Britain lists 33 iron mines. 67% of these are in the Weald. The entire Weald was originally heavily forested. According to the 9th century Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, the Weald measured 120 miles or longer by 30 miles in the Saxon era, stretching from Lymm, near Romney Marsh in Kent, to the Forest of Berre or even the New Forest in Hampshire. The area was sparsely inhabited and inhospitable, being used mainly as a resource by people living on its fringes. Much as in other places in Britain such as Dartmoor, the Fens and the Forest of Arden, the Weald was used for centuries, possibly since the Iron Age, for transhumance of animals along droveways in the summer months. Over the centuries, deforestation for the shipbuilding, charcoal, forest glass, and brick-making industries has left the Low Weald with only remnants of that woodland cover. While most of the Weald was used for transhumance by communities at the edge of the Weald, several parts of the forest on the higher ridges in the interior seem to have been used for hunting by the kings of Sussex. The pattern of droveways which occurs across the rest of the Weald is absent from these areas. These areas include St Leonard's Forest, Worth Forest, Ashdown Forest and Dallington Forest. The forests of the Weald were often used as a place of refuge and sanctuary. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle relates events during the Anglo-Saxon conquest of Sussex when the native Britons were driven from the coastal towns into the recesses of the forest for sanctuary, viz. AD 477. This year came Il to Britain, with his 3 sons, Simon, and Vlenking, and Cissa, in 3 ships, landing at a place that is called Simenshaw. There they slew many of the Welsh, and some in flight they drove into the wood that is called Andredslee. Until the late Middle Ages the forest was a notorious hiding place for bandits, highwaymen and outlaws. Settlements on the Weald are widely scattered. Villages evolved from small settlements in the woods, typically 4 to 5 miles apart, close enough to be an easy walk, but not so close as to encourage unnecessary intrusion. Few of the settlements are mentioned in the Domesday Book however. Goudhurst's church dates from the early 12th century or before, and Wadhurst was of a sufficient size by the mid-13th century to be granted a royal charter permitting a market to be held. Before this time, the Weald was used as summer grazing land, particularly for pannage by communities living in the surrounding areas. Many places within the Weald have retained names from this time, linking them to the original communities by the addition of the suffix den. For example, Tenterden was the area used by the people of Thanet. Permanent settlements in much of the Weald developed much later than in other parts of lowland Britain, although there were as many as 100 furnaces and forges operating by the later 16th century, employing large numbers of people. In the first edition of On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin used an estimate for the erosion of the chalk, sandstone and clay strata of the Weald in his theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin was a follower of Lyell's theory of uniformitarianism and decided to expand upon Lyell's theory with a quantitative estimate to determine if there was enough time in the history of the Earth to uphold his principles of evolution. He assumed the rate of erosion was around 1 inch per century and calculated the age of the Weald at around 300 million years. Were that true, he reasoned, the Earth itself must be much older. In 1862, William Thomson published a paper on the age of the Sun's heat, in which, unaware of the process of solar fusion, he calculated the Sun had been burning for less than 1 million years, and put the outside limit of the age of the Earth at 200 million years. Based on these estimates, he denounced Darwin's geological estimates as imprecise. Darwin saw Lord Kelvin's calculation as one of the most serious criticisms to his theory and removed his calculations on the Weald from the 3rd edition of On the Origin of Species. Modern methods show the Weald to be between 20 and 30 million years old, with the Earth at about 4,600 million years. Geography. The Weald begins northeast of Petersfield in Hampshire, and extends across Surrey and Kent in the north, and Sussex in the south. The western parts in Hampshire and West Sussex, known as the Western Weald, are included in the South Downs National Park. Other protected parts of the Weald are included in the Surrey Hills Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty and the High Weald Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. In extent it covers about 85 miles from west to east, and about 30 miles from north to south, covering an area of some 1,300 square kilometers. The eastern end of the High Weald, the English Channel coast, is marked in the center by the high sandstone cliffs from Hastings to Pett Level, and by former sea cliffs now fronted by the Pevensey and Romney marshes on either side. Much of the High Weald, the central part, is designated as the High Weald Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. Its landscape is described as one of rolling hills, studded with sandstone outcrops and cut by streams to form steep-sided ravines, small irregular-shaped fields and patches of heathland, abundant woodlands, scattered farmsteads and sunken lanes and paths. Ashdown Forest, an extensive area of heathland and woodland occupying the highest sandy ridgetop at the centre of the High Weald, is a former royal deer hunting forest created by the Normans and said to be the largest remaining part of Androdus Weald. There are centres of settlement, the largest of which are Horsham, Burgess Hill, East Grinstead, Haywards Heath, Tunbridge Wells, Crowborough, and the area along the coast from Hastings and Bexhill on Sea to Ryan Hythe. The geological map shows the High Weald in lime green. The Low Weald, the periphery of the Weald, is shown as darker green on the map, and has an entirely different character. It is in effect the eroded outer edges of the High Weald, revealing a mixture of sandstone outcrops within the underlying clay. As a result, the landscape is of wide and low-lying clay vales with small woodlands and fields. There is a great deal of surface water, ponds and many meandering streams. Some areas, such as the flat plain around Crawley, have been utilised for urban use. Here are Gatwick Airport and its related developments and the Hawley-Crawley commuter settlements. Otherwise the Low Weald retains its historic settlement pattern, where the villages and small towns occupy harder outcrops of rocks. There are no large towns on the Low Weald, although Ashford, Sevenoaks and Reigate lie immediately on the northern edge. Settlements tend to be small and linear, because of its original wooded nature and heavy clay soils. The Weald is drained by the many streams radiating from it, the majority being tributaries of the surrounding major rivers, particularly the Mull, Medway, Stour, Rother, Cuckmere, Ouse, Arder and Arun. Many of these streams provided the power for the watermills, blast furnaces and hammers of the iron industry and the cloth mills. Communications. The M25, M26 and M20 motorways all use the Vale of Holmesdale to the north, and therefore run along or near the northern edge of the Weald. The M23, A23 road to Brighton, uses the western, narrower, part of the Weald where there are stream headwaters, crossing it from north to south. Other roads take similar routes, although they often have long hills and many bends. The more sedate, but trunk A21 to Hastings is still beset with traffic delays, despite having had some new sections. 5 railways once crossed the Weald, now reduced to 3. Buildingham provided the engineers with difficulties in crossing the terrain, with the hard sandstone adding to their problems. The Brighton Main Line followed the same route as its road predecessors, although it necessitated the long tunnel near Bolcombe and the Ouse Valley Viaduct. Tributaries of the River Ouse provided some assistance in the building of now closed East Grinstead-Lewes and the Uckfield-Lewes lines. The principal mainline railway to Hastings had to negotiate difficult terrain when it was first built, necessitating many sharp curves and tunnels, and similar problems had to be faced with the Ashford-Hastings line. The Weald is well mapped recreationally, covered by of routes from the Ramblers associations and most district councils for walkers, Sustrans and local county councils for cyclists. Well-known long-distance footpaths criss-cross the Weald. For the most detailed county article, having more than the other 3 main counties of the area save Hampshire, recreational walks in Kent farming. Neither the thin and fertile sands of the High Weald or the wet sticky clays of the Low Weald are suited to intensive arable farming, and the topography of the area often increases the difficulties. There are limited areas of fertile green sand which can be used for intensive vegetable growing, as in the valley of the Western Rother. Historically, the area of cereals grown has varied greatly with changes in prices. increasing during the Napoleonic Wars and during and since World War II. The Weald has its own breed of cattle, called the Sussex, although it has been as numerous in Kent and parts of Surrey. Bred from the strong hardy oxen, which continue to be used to plough the clay soils of the Low Weald longer than in most places. These red beef cattle were highly praised by Arthur Young in his book, Agriculture of Sussex, when visiting Sussex in the 1790s. William Cobbett commented on finding some of the finest cattle on some of the region's poorest subsistence farms on the High Weald. Pigs, which were kept by most households in the past, were able to be fattened in autumn on acorns in the extensive oak woods. In his novel, Memoirs of a Fox-Hunting Man, the poet and novelist Siegfried Sassoon refers to the agricultural serenity of the Weald, widespread in the delicate hazy sunshine. Wildlife. The Weald has largely maintained its wooded character, with woodland still covering 23% of the overall area, and the proportion is considerably higher in some central parts. The sandstones of the Wealden rocks are usually acidic, often leading to the development of acidic habitats such as heathland, the largest remaining areas of which are in Ashdown Forest and near Thursley. Although common in France, the wild boar became extinct in Great Britain and Ireland by the 17th century. But wild breeding populations have recently returned in the Weald, following escapes from boar farms. Culture. The Weald has been associated with many writers, particularly in the 19th and early 20th centuries. These include Vita Sackville-West, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Rudyard Kipling. The setting for A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh stories was inspired by Ashdown Forest, near Milne's country home at Hartfield. John Evelyn, particularly noted for his house, gardens and books which inspired others in the wider area. Wootton House, Surrey in the Vale of Holmesdale by Dorking, just north of the Weald proper, was a diarist, essayist and early author of botany, gardening and geography. Sport. The game of cricket may have originated prior to the 13th century in the Weald. The related game stool ball is still popular in the Weald, mostly played by ladies' teams. Other English Wealds and Wolds. Several other areas in southern England have the name Weald, but are outside the Weald as described above. These include North Weald in Essex, and Harrow Weald in northwest London. Wold is used as the name for various open rolling upland areas in the north of England, including the Yorkshire Wolds and the Lincolnshire Wolds. Although these are, by contrast, chalk uplands. The Cotswolds are a major geographical feature of central England, forming a southwest to northeast line across the country.